Just let me know when, and I'll start sharing my screen.
Okay. We are live now. Yeah. So we're live now on YouTube.
Just let me know when, and I'll start sharing my screen.
All right. Okay. We are live now. Yeah. Live now on YouTube.
Just let me know when, and I'll.
Okay, we're giving others time to join us. We have about 18 participants. So let's take like 2 minutes or 4 minutes to let others join.
Sure.
Okay, we're giving others time to join us. We have
Can you
about
hear the feedback? It's the audio is looping. You hear that?
Yeah, I'll fix that. I think it's from my end. Sorry about that.
Ready to start, or shall we wait some more?
Just give me yeah, 1 minute. I'll fix that. I think it's from my end. Wow. Sorry about that. Yeah, I guess we're fine now. I duplicated the screen, so it's from my own end. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you so much. So we have 29 participants joining in, more in the waiting room.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people in the waiting room.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we can start now. We just have we've used 5 minutes of the meeting time. Yeah, others can join us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me figure out how to close the chat. Here we go. Okay. Now it's my turn to have technical problems where I try and figure out how to share my screen.
It's fine. Okay, let's do a bit of an introduction. Good day, everybody. We are all welcome to this exciting and informative session where we're talking about how to write technical article. And with us here, we have our hosts, a person of Faye Sipiano. We are so excited to have you here. We're really happy to have you here. Everybody listen. If you want to take notes, take notes. And at the end of the session, there'll be questions and answer. You can ask her whatever question you have, issues, tech related, and I'm sure she has lots of packages for you guys here. Thank you, Faye, once again for joining us. We are so grateful to have you.
I'm really excited to be speaking with for you guys. However, Zoom is going to make me quit and I'll have to reopen. So I'll just quit quickly. Otherwise, it won't let me share my screen. Zoom is really annoying. For my clients, I don't use Zoom. I use Google Meets. It's much better. Yeah. So I'm just going to have to, I'll disappear, but then I'll come straight back on and hopefully it'll work.
That's fine by me. Yeah. Thank you so much. So guys, so happy to meet you guys. Can see your messages in the chat room. Yeah, welcome everybody. Before she joins us. Yeah. Okay. We are streaming it live on YouTube. Yeah. So we're streaming it live on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube after the session. That will be okay. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah. So you can use your pen and paper. You can keep it close by. If you have any question, you can tell for the session.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna. You disabled screen sharing.
No, now you can.
Cool. Thank you. Google Chrome. Wait. Shit. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
The presentation. Okay, good. All right. So, thank you, everyone, for
yeah, we can see your screen, Faye.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and it's really exciting for me to be able to talk to you about technical writing, which is what I do usually when I speak at conferences. People ask me to talk about tech or different frameworks or things like that, which is fun. But what I like doing the most, I guess, is technical writing. So, firstly, who am I? A bunch of you probably know me as JavaScript and Coffee on Twitter, but my name is Faye Sipiano. I am a multiple career changer. I've gone from healthcare, like being a carer, and then I worked in an office for a while, and then I worked in a school for ages, and then I worked in finance for a year, and then the pandemic happened. It happened to everyone, and then I learned to code, and I kind of dived into the tech world, and I'm still here. And yeah, I started off learning front end web development, and I was kind of okay at it, but what I like doing the most is writing. So I started looking into technical writing and what that was, what I could do with it. Alongside that, I I'm also a business consultant, and that means that I help startups and entrepreneurs to figure out what they're doing with their ideas. So many people have such great ideas, but they're all in their head. So I just help people to write them out, get them written down and in technical documents so that these things can actually start being built, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and I really like doing that. I also like horses. It's just something about me, because I think it's, when you see people on Twitter, it's easy to forget that they're actually a real person. Yeah, so I have a pony, and I go to him every day, and then I come home and I do a bunch of writing. So yeah, I'm living the good life, I guess you could say. Okay, let's jump into it. So what do you need to do first when you're thinking about writing a technical article? You choose your topic. What's it going to be about? Does it need to be something completely original that no one's ever written about before? I mean, probably not. Probably would be impossible unless you're writing about something that is completely new, maybe a new framework. Maybe you're going to write about every single new JavaScript framework that comes out. I think you'd be writing a lot. But yeah, so really you don't need to worry about people having written about it before. Can you change your mind when if you get halfway through an article and you think, actually, I don't like the direction this is going, or I think I could write a bit more about whatever particular topic. Yeah, you can do that. For me, I do that quite a lot. I'll start writing something and then I'll be like, actually, it's kind of boring me right now. I'll just save that into my draft, what I've done, and I might start something completely new. I think that's fine. You don't need to set expectations or pressure on yourself when you're writing. Should you collaborate? Yeah, I think that's a great idea. That kind of ties into what we're going to talk about later as well, because I don't think that you should be scared that someone might know more than you, which is a big, it feels like a big deal when you're writing. When I write about something, say when I write about Docker or Kubernetes, I was like, I've got no idea about these things. I know that a lot of people know a lot more than me. So I just asked them, I was like, hey, I've written this article. Do you mind reading over it and seeing what you think? And yeah, people give feedback, something again that we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, so I think collaboration is a good idea. If you think that you know someone who would be interested in what you're writing or could be helpful to you, and I think that's a really good idea. Do you need to be an expert? No, I can tell you honestly, I am an expert in nothing. I mean, there are people that are experts, true experts, but I'm definitely not one of them. It's actually, yeah, it's quite weird that actually I don't think anything that I've written article about, I've heard of before. I mean, I wrote my Docker article when I needed to start using Docker, and I'd never even heard of it before. But so to help with that, I wrote an article. I'd heard of Kubernetes, but I didn't know what it was, so I wrote an article about it. So no, you don't need to be an expert at all. Writing is probably one of the best ways to learn, because you're teaching others, just not face to face. You're teaching others, but at your own pace, which really, if you think about it, is the best way to go. You need to think about who you're writing for. Obviously you need to think about your audience, and you don't want to be getting into incredible technical detail if you're writing for a newbie, say, which I tend to write for newbies, or people that are maybe not confident in what they're reading, or they prefer to take a bit longer to understand things. And again, what if you get a technical detail wrong, which is kind of, you're panicking about something, you're not an expert. What if you get something wrong? But again, that's, you are going to get things wrong. I've got things wrong lots of times in articles, and the amount of comments that I've got on my articles, like, hey, you used a capital I instead of an L in some tech name. And I'm like, oh, cool. Thanks for letting me know. I'll update it. Yeah, or some things about version 1 instead of version 12, or there's always technical details that you're going to get wrong, and we'll talk about that a bit more in terms of accepting feedback when you're writing, and how, before you go into writing, you need to figure out how to accept feedback. When you start an article, right at the beginning, you need to decide what you want your tone, your voice to be. So it's not your literal voice, obviously you're writing, but it's important to have a consistent tone and speak and write in the same tense throughout. So as in, if I was talking about how I was doing something, then I would need to keep saying I can't suddenly switch to you. So yeah, you I hope that makes sense. You can't switch between you and I when you're writing. You can when you're talking, because it's, I suppose, clearer with what you're talking about. Humor, again, that depends on, like it says there, the intended audience. If you want to write a very serious and heavily technical articles, probably shouldn't be funny, because they're meant to be very serious. And yeah, but I mean, for me, I find writing like that kind of boring, so I don't do it. I don't write technical. I do write technical articles, but they're not like really technical. It's just getting people, letting people sort of get to grips with the idea of something. So I use humor when I write. I'll write in a very conversational way. I've got an example later on in the slides. But yeah, you need to think about your audience. If your audience is senior developers, then maybe using humor isn't the best idea, and maybe you need to think about how to get your point across quicker, which you can do by not having too much introduction. You need to have some sort of introduction to the topic, but you need to jump straight into the technical detail. So yeah, it depends who your intended audience is. No, will it be a series? So when you start writing and you think, oh, this topic is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, what do I do? I mean, you could write a very, very long article that people just read down. It goes on forever and everyone gets bored. You get bored writing it. The reader gets bored reading it. It's not helping anyone. But then again, it depends on your audience. Some articles do need to be very, very long. But for me, I mean, I think all of my articles fit into some sort of series. I like to think, I like to write with a theme in mind, which it says there at the bottom. Probably my most popular series is the What Is series, where I kind of write about, like I mentioned before, like an introduction into any sort of tech, whether it's Docker or the concept of hoisting or recursion or Kubernetes, or just complex topics, but I break them down in a way that helps people to understand the concept of them rather than the technical detail. That's personally how I just enjoy writing. I think it's important to enjoy what you're writing. So yeah, if you get carried away with what you're writing and you suddenly realize you've got 8 pages, I mean, that's ridiculous, but however much you've written, then maybe think about splitting up into a series, because people will be able to link, they'll be able to get to the end of one article and there's a part 2. My API, I've got a what is an API article that I've got a part 1 and part 2, because I thought this topic is huge. There's no way I can write it all in one article. So yeah, it depends on how you want to split that up. Don't get overwhelmed. Writing is overwhelming, and I think it's okay to feel like that. I went when I wrote my Docker article, that's one that I come back to as an example a lot, because it took me so long, because I'd never used Docker. I had no idea what it was. What on earth is containerization? I had no idea. I went through about 12 cups of tea and coffee. It took me a whole weekend. I had a tub of ice cream, and then I think it was the middle of the second day, when I just finished it, and I thought, brilliant, and I deleted it. I deleted the whole thing by accident. My computer crashed or something. It was horrible. It's awful. I cried. It was a terrible time. But then I rewrote it all in one afternoon, and I think it was probably better than the first time I wrote it. So yeah, it is overwhelming. That was the point that I was going to. But yeah, it is it is overwhelming, and it's fine to feel like that. However many articles you've written, I think when you start on a new topic, it's gonna feel like that. Not every article needs to be the article of a lifetime. It doesn't need to be the best article you've ever written ever. It doesn't have to be. You just take it slow and steady, and don't put too much sort of expectations on yourself, because I think it's easy to get carried away with, I want to say this and I want to say that, and people need to learn this and that, and you just need to slow down and think about what you're writing, because if you're not enjoying writing, if you're bored or stressed, then that's going to show. When the reader reads what you're doing, when the reader reads what you've written, it's going to show how you are feeling. If you're feeling relaxed and happy, then it will come across. The article might be funny, or it'll just be interesting to read. So yeah, I think it's important not to get overwhelmed, although it is interesting. It is easy to get overwhelmed. This is a big one that kind of fits into getting overwhelmed, because people will always give you their opinions, whether you wanted their opinion or not. I get probably at least 5 or 6 opinions on everything that I write. I not like oh, this is the best article. I mean opinions like, well, you wrote this wrong, and you wrote this wrong, and you wrote this wrong, and I just say thank you. Please tell me how I can improve it, and I'll update the article. Because like we were saying about the technical details, you probably get things wrong, and they're not criticizing you. They want to help, because they want to help make your article better. And I don't know why, yeah, some people get very upset about other people's opinions, but it's going to happen. You're going to get other people's opinions, and it's fine. All they're doing is trying to help you. So it's important not to be scared of feedback, and actually going out of your way to ask for feedback is, I think that's a good thing. On every single article that I write, I get at least 2 people to read it, whether it's my husband or whether it's someone on Twitter that I know is an expert in the topic. I ask them, because I think then you know, at least it gives me some kind of feeling like I'm going to help someone. I'm going to be able to help someone with this article. Yeah. So it's a contentious topic, be consistent with writing, because you've probably seen everyone on Twitter says a lot of things, but you have to be consistent. You should write 20 million times a week, and you should write every day, or you should do this, or you should do that. But do you have to? Do you want to put that pressure on yourself? Because to me, writing is like art. Like, you wouldn't say to a painter, a very good painter, you have to paint every day, or you have to make a sculpture every day. It's when that feeling comes to you. I mean, personally, I don't know if I think I forgot to put my writing link on here, but I think I write once a month, maybe, if that. I don't think I've written anything this month. Yeah, I just consider the pressure that you would be putting onto yourself. Some people need that pressure to feel like they're doing something, but it's personal. Like I said, for me, I write when I feel like it. Sometimes I'll write 3 days in a row, and then I won't write for a month. It's just whenever I feel like it, really, because otherwise, like I was saying earlier, if you don't feel like writing, or if you're bored with the topic that you're writing, or if you don't care, or if you'd rather be doing a million other things, it's going to show in the way that you write. And it won't be interesting or engaging to your readers. Yeah, and the same thing, if you're not having fun writing it, then your readers won't have fun reading it. There's always, well, I originally wrote "There's always tomorrow," but then I thought, well, there isn't always tomorrow. You never know. But you could try again later, or try again tomorrow, or next week, or next month, or whenever you feel like it. Just whenever you get that inspiration. Being a writer is like like I said, it's like being an artist. You can be a bit of a diva about it. You'd be like, well, I don't fancy writing today. I mean, I'm a freelancer, so if I don't feel like writing, then I don't get paid, which doesn't help. But don't put that pressure on yourself if you don't want to. So this is going into how I start, really. So I start with a question. All of my articles, almost all of them, my What Is series, so almost all of them, is a question. What is whatever? JavaScript, what is Docker, what is Kubernetes, what is an API? And then I break the question down. And actually, it's almost like I'm having a conversation with the reader in my head. I'll write as if I'm talking to someone and I'm explaining it to someone. Usually I think about explaining it to my mum or someone who's completely not technical. Because, like I said, I sort of write for newbies, people who are new to tech, people who might not have any idea of some concepts, and usually I'll use food to explain things. So when I think my Docker article, I used Pete's. I needed to explain hypervisors, which is kind of a difficult concept to explain if you've got no idea what sort of that kind of thing is. So I used a pizza to explain that, and then I kind of carried on that analogy kind of throughout. And yeah, everyone likes food, so that's always a good analogy that I use. And yeah, I just, like I said, this is like I'm talking to the reader, and it's easy to get swept up with that pretend conversation, and you need to end up having some fun. So I've got an example from my What Is Hoisting article, the header examples. So I think I start by giving the official definition of hoisting, and then my first header is hold up, what? And then I explain it a bit more, and I explain scope because that's important, and then it's okay, that's scope. Can we talk about hoisting now? And then I go into it a bit more, and then I say there are two ways of defining and declaring. Isn't that kind of confusing? One way would be easier. And then I say, yeah, I agree, but blah 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 blah. Do you see? I'm having a pretend conversation with the reader, and then it's hoisting, and then I explain hoisting. So actually, all of that before I say hoisting is all the sort of boring background that the reader needs to understand before I go into the proper explanation. But because I've written it in such a way that it's kind of conversational and fun, the reader almost doesn't realize that they're learning, I suppose. I find for me it's a fun way to write, and it's a fun way to learn as well. That's how I like learning. No, I don't like reading boring articles. So fun writing equals fun reading. So what I'd quite like to do now is for you to unmute. Oh, actually, there's a bunch of things in the chat. Yeah, it would be fun if we could just talk now, because I've been talking for a while, so it would be good to talk to you. So yeah, what do you, there's some starter questions there. What do you think is stopping you from writing or writing more? Anyone? Can people unmute here?
Good day, Freya. Okay, my name is Emmanuel. It's nice to meet you. I really enjoyed your session.
Hi, Emmanuel. Thank you.
Okay, one of the things that stops me from writing is like when I'm thinking about it, I like the idea comes, but when I'm writing it out, it starts becoming like it's pointless. Like I start to lose the vibe. Then at times I just drop the idea like that.
Yeah, I that comes to me sometimes as well. I know what you mean, but it's that feeling also comes to me as well. And I write quite a lot, and people seem to like what I write. I think so if maybe I can use the analogy, if you go for a run or you go to the gym, there's that wall when you exercise. Maybe you've heard of that. Like you when you exercise, you get like a feeling like, oh, I can't do it, I'm not strong enough, or I'm not fast enough, I can't do it, I have to stop. But you have to push through it. And I think it's the same with writing. You just need to push through that feeling of, oh, it's pointless. Or I think someone else has said that they feel like they're not a good writer, but you just have to push through that feeling. And that is how it helps as well. If you maybe ask someone for feedback, it doesn't have to be someone on Twitter, it doesn't have to be a stranger, it could be your partner or your mum or your dad or whoever you're living with, just anyone really. Or maybe it would help you if it's a stranger because you don't know them. Maybe that might help as well to get some feedback. But yeah, in terms of that initial feeling, you just have to push through it.
We have some messages in the chat box. Hello. Yeah, I said we have some messages in the chat box.
Mhm.
Someone said laziness and procrastination uh, are, are issues when it comes to writing. Um,
I see that one. Is that Amara? I see you.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I can't think of a straightforward way to stop that. You just need to stop being lazy and stop procrastinating. I don't think there's some magical cure for that. Sorry, Amara.
okay. We have somebody saying, if you could, he's talking about should his article be completely original or maybe he could duplicate it or something.
Okay. So yeah, I think I saw that. You missed about the rest. That's fine. Let me go back to remind myself. Because, like I said, I'm not an expert in anything, and slideshows is definitely not. Here we go. Look. Yeah. So, should it be something completely original? And what I was talking about was, I think it would kind of be impossible to write about something completely original. I mean, it's obviously not impossible. In what I do as a freelance technical writer and business consultant, the two things kind of go hand in hand for me. I write about completely original things quite a lot. But unless you're doing what I'm doing and working with early stage startups and kind of very small companies that have lots of ideas, but they haven't written anything down, I think it's kind of impossible to write about something completely original. Someone would have always, I mean, think of some, I mean, it's not a good example, but say Vue. Say you wanted to write about Vue. That was the inspiration that you had to write an article about Vue, explaining how you could build a, I don't know, whatever, using Vue, a website, just a whole website using Vue. Someone's going to have already done that, but someone would have done it before them, and that didn't stop them. So why would it stop you? I think, yeah, I think you're going to be very pushed to find something completely original to talk about, and that's probably the hardest way to start tech writing. What I do, because you've got nothing to lean on, you've got no analogies, you've got no examples. I think if you are thinking about writing something and then you realize that someone has already written about it, you can use their article for inspiration. How did they explain it? How did they do it? So yeah, I think, I hope that clears up about whether something should be original.
All right. So we have David. David says his problem is he doesn't have a good background in English. Yeah, and he says he feels he's not that a good writer. Yeah. Then another person says he thinks he's not good enough. I think that is like David's question. Then we
Yeah.
have yeah. Then we have Rashid. Rashid says, how do I deal with uniqueness? So many times I start to write, but I don't finish it, and I come across something that you're planning or he or she's planning, and to be surprised to use. Okay, so what he's trying to say is, when he wants to write and he's not finding it easy to write a unique article, and he come across something like his. So he's asking, how does he tackle that? Maybe you could answer these two questions, then we move on.
Yeah. Okay. We'll start with David's question. Okay. So not having a good English background. So, I mean, I know that. Well, I don't know because obviously only the articles that I see are in English. But maybe write in your native language. There's going to be other people. You're not the only person in the world that uses that language. I don't know what your native language is, But you're not going to be, I mean, you're probably not the only person in the world using that language. So there's going to be other people. Maybe you know other people that if you, here's an idea. So if you write the article that you want to write in your native language, have someone read over it to make sure that it, you know, it's, well, yeah, no, someone just to read over it for you. And then you can spend time translating it to English if you want to. You don't have to. I'm sure there's lots of things that you could write about that probably aren't even, maybe they aren't covered. Maybe that could be your niche. So companies in your country and companies that use your native language, maybe they don't want all their stuff written in English. Maybe you could earn a lot of money doing that, David. There's an idea. And yeah, with the for me, I think I'm not good enough. Yeah, Hexd wrote that. Again, that's just you. Like I was saying, I think the first question, that's just a feeling you need to push through. Even I feel like that sometimes. I think I'm not making any sense writing this. It's rubbish. I need to throw it all in the bin and start all over again. But you don't have to do that. You just got to push through it. How to deal with uniqueness. So you need to, I think that comes down to making sure that you're enjoying what you're writing. Because like with the questions kind of style that I have, like it's a conversation between me, the writer, and them, the reader. You need to you could do that. Just because I do it doesn't mean that yours is going to be completely different. Yours is going to be completely different because how I have a conversation is going to be different to how you have a conversation. So it's I think it's impossible for two people to have the same writing style. It would be like two people having the same speaking style or the same, well, anything. You're unique, and the way that you write is unique. Okay, did you want to move on, or have we got time for more questions?
I think we should move on to because we have lots of questions and we could spend lots of time attending to them. I think you could move on, then we'll take questions later again. There's more questions.
Okay, this is my last slide here.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Okay, then we can continue with the question.
Yeah, carry on the question.
Okay. Somebody says, I have a problem with expression and I don't know how to express a concept or an idea when it comes. Another says, I write freelance article, and what he's trying to say, he's saying that he feels he's not getting the value he deserves, and how does he make money writing, and how do you, okay, yeah, that's what he's asking. And somebody says, I want to start a career as technical writer, but the company I submit articles to usually trash my content, giving me feedback. It's not a beginner friendly. Please help me on this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So I'll answer those two. So to Rashid, if a company is trashing your content, then just don't send it to them anymore. It doesn't matter. There's no point in you trying to fit in your style of writing with what they want. If it's not working, then don't send them articles anymore, because that's not worth your time. So I think you carry on what you're doing. It sounds like you're doing well, and if they're giving you feedback, then that's a really good sign, or even a sign that maybe you could change it just slightly and make it a bit more beginner friendly, maybe a little bit more conversational, or think about the topic that you're writing about, and yeah, or find a different company. But I mean, if I sent an article to a company and they just said no without giving me any feedback, then I wouldn't work with them again. In fact, there was a company that that paid me to write an article, and then they put a big advert in the middle of it, like with some writing to make it look like I'd written it. And I said, no, don't do that. And I made them take it down, but still pay me, obviously. But yeah, so you can be like that. You have to be picky. Don't just work with anyone. Remember, it's your time it's your time and your writing talent that they're paying for, basically. So, and if it's not working, then that's it. Okay, Israel said impossible.
The name of our topic today is called the oral teacher. I take our reading from Isaiah chapter 30, verse 21.
I can hear someone talk.
Says, and thy ears shall.
I can hear
All right.
someone talking, but your audio is really bad. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Can you write your question in the chat?
I think it was a mistake.
Okay.
Yeah, he muted himself. So the next question is on imposter syndrome and procrastination. He said that's his biggest weakness. And how does he try to be perfect in what he does, and he usually get bored at times.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, I think those are usual feelings. I think we all feel like that, and again, it's just something that you need to push through and just keep focused on what you're doing, and just have that faith, that feeling that when you're finished writing, it'll be worth it, and then you hit that publish button and it'll be worth it. When your work is out there, then it'll be worth it. Okay, Amara said, is it possible you could give us a step-by-step guide on how to structure a technical write-up? That's very tricky because it would be good if I could. I wish I could, but it depends on so many things. It depends what your writing style is. It depends who your audience is. It depends why you're writing it. It depends who you're writing it for. It depends what you're writing about. So I gave some examples. I mean, this is my hoisting article that was just to explain the concept of hoisting, which is just a JavaScript. It's a bit of a bug, really, just a JavaScript thing. Explain it to newbies. I don't get paid to write on my personal blog. These are just articles that I write to help other people. So this is just an example of, I suppose, writing about a technical concept, but loosely, and for newbies, and yeah, for fun, I suppose. So yeah, and the way that I set it out is by using questions, and having a conversation with the reader. So yeah, sorry, it's really hard to give a step-by-step because it depends on so many things.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody said he's thinking about writing his native language, that's Yoruba.
Mm-hmm.
Then then we have another question. He said, how do I come up with a writing style, and which style do you advise a beginner to stick to? And somebody said my question wasn't answered. Could you write it again, Hadiza? Then somebody says, how can I break down a subject into different articles? I don't understand that.
Like a series manual.
Okay, all right. So we have two questions: style guide, writing style, and which one should you stick to? And the other is how do I break down a subject into different series? Yeah.
Okay, all right. So in terms of writing style, that's kind of again, sorry, it's kind of personal. It's kind of up to you. It's however you feel that you want to write, whatever way is fun for you. If you follow someone else's advice on you should write like this or you should write like that, then you're going to find it boring and you'll get bored of writing. So if you stop trying to write like other people write and write how you want to write, then you'll enjoy it. If you want to write an article about hoisting that includes a fairy tale princess and a dragon, and that's how you want to explain it, then go for it. It doesn't matter that no one else that writes like that, or no one told you to write like that. You do it, and people will enjoy it. If that's how you want to write, then go for it. Okay, Hadiza rewrote their question.
Okay.
Oh yes, I do remember that question. Sorry for skipping that one. But also I can't answer all questions. We'll be here forever. So you don't feel like you're getting the value you deserve. So that sounds to me like you need to put your price up. Is that right? Is that what you mean by value? Or you put your price up or spend less time on that client? Maybe you need to look for a different client. You can drop clients, that's fine too. You're an artiste. Be a bit of a diva about your time. If you don't want to spend time on something, then don't. If you're not enjoying it, then don't. Be a diva. You're an artist.
Okay.
So I hope that answered your question. Alex,
Alex.
has raised their hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, I write when I'm inspired, when inspiration strikes. But that doesn't happen a lot. So how would you recommend I deal with that?
Sorry, Alex, there was a lot of background noise. I caught the beginning of your question, that you write when you're inspired, but that doesn't happen a lot, I think you said. But then I missed the last bit of your question.
Yeah, Alex, if you could type it, that would really help.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's how I write as well, to be honest. And like I said, I write maybe once or twice a month. But that's my personal articles. In terms of say you're writing for a client and you have to write, then you kind of you can't wait for inspiration to strike, unfortunately. So what I do is have very frequent catch-ups with my client. I talk to my client almost every day, I would say, apart from the weekends. We talk almost every day. I like to have a good rapport with the client, and I suppose it depends who you are working with. If you're working with a big company, then maybe it'll be difficult, but I work with startups and individual entrepreneurs. So it's and also I'm a business consultant as well. So in terms of maybe going for a run or a walk or doing a workout before you sit down to write, so that your brain has time to, so you're not putting too much pressure on yourself, I guess. You don't want to sit in front of your laptop or your computer or whatever and think, I have to write now. I have to sit here for 2 hours and I have to write, because that will never, I don't think, well, it never works for me. I go for walks a lot. So if you can do that, or just get out of the house, or go and have a load of water, just go and drink a load of water, or just chill out for a bit, or just do something that's completely unrelated and don't worry about it. Just think, I will do that when I feel like it. Again, be a diva. You're an artist. Just think, I will do that later when I feel like it, and then just come back to it later. I think that would be my That would be my answer to that.
Okay, thank you so much. If you have any question or you want to unmute yourself to talk, you could raise up your hand and we would unmute you. Or if you are shy, you can type it in the chat box. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so can you work full-time as a technical writer? I don't do it full-time. I don't think I'd want to do it full-time. I do maybe a few hours a day. I have another part-time job as well. That's completely different. But you probably could work full-time as a technical writer if you wanted to. I wouldn't want to. Again, it's that inspiration. I think I'd just run out of writing juice. I don't think I'd be able to do that. Yeah. Okay, should we take a couple more questions and then call it a day? It's getting kind of late for me over here.
Yeah. Let's just take 1 or 2 questions and we call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Temideo? Sorry if I said your name wrong there.
Get through.
Yeah, okay. My question is, for instance, you want to write an article and you are concerned about the level of knowledge of your target audience. So do you have any place where you can, like a community, online community, where you can kind of, go and ask questions, maybe a survey you can post, and then you can get some feedback that can help you gauge the knowledge level? Then that will serve as the background for you to decide how you use your terms and how you write your article. You kind of understand the question I'm asking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question, and it is difficult to work out the knowledge level of your target audience. If I've got your question right there, so if I've got any doubts about that, I usually post on Twitter. But I've got I don't know how, but I've got a bunch of Twitter followers, so it's kind of easier for me, I guess, to get an answer. But I suppose also that's why I write for newbies, because I just assume they don't know anything about it, which is why I use food as an analogy, because everyone likes food, like I said. And so I would say I can't think of any sort of forum or anywhere that you could go to ask a question other than Twitter. You could try on Twitter, that'd be good. But yeah, I think assume that they don't know as much as you think they might. Assume that assume that they know less. So maybe assume that they're more towards the junior kind of knowledge level, because people won't be able to read your article if they don't understand the concepts that you're talking about, but people will be able to read your article if they do understand it. So I think that's kind of the thought process to go down there, that you want people to understand it, whether they already knew what you were talking about, it doesn't matter. That's better than them having no idea what you're talking about. So yeah, I would assume that they know less than you think, if that makes sense. I hope that answers your question.
We have a question. Hadiza is asking again, how did you get your first client as a freelancer? She's asking if you used Twitter for that.
Trying to remember who my first client was and where I met them. Yeah, I think it was through Twitter. I think it was, so I did some work helping out, like voluntary work, helping out with the coding of the front end development of a company. And I'm just trying to remember. yeah, I helped them out with the front end web development for a startup that I was talking to the founder of, and they kind of I was like, well, I kind of prefer writing to coding, and they took that, and then I think through word of mouth, I kind of got my first client. I think that's how it happened, which is, it doesn't really help you guys because it's kind of random, but yeah. So it's not always I suppose look for your clients in places where you aren't looking for them, if that makes sense. So I wasn't looking at all for my first freelance client when I got them. Actually, before that, my first freelance client was for web development, but that's by the by, that doesn't matter. So my first writing client, I wasn't looking for them. They came to me. Actually, all of my clients have come to me. I've never advertised, which I'm not sure how that happened. I think it's because I write on the side. I write on my blog, and I suppose people can see that. I've never advertised really, not with like a proper advert. I've never cold messaged or cold emailed anyone. Yeah, so that is how I got my first client. Okay, Akeem has a question. Should we make this the last question?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I feel like we could be going on for a while.
Yeah, let's take Akim's question.
Okay, thank you very much, Faye. Thank you for the session. I'm really enjoying it. So I have two questions actually, and they are kind of related to each other. When you begin the session, I saw like about yourself. You said you started coding. You learned how to code. I mean, in 2020. So probably that should be around. So I want to ask, what actually motivated you, like during the journey? Because I know that learning to code for a newbie it has a lot of ups and downs, and someone can easily back out on checking out during the journey when it comes really challenging. And my second question is now coming to technical writing. I used to do writing though, so but I've never really gone into the really technical aspect. The really technical aspect I've done is I once I once came up with an FAQ for a product when I was working on a particular engineering team back then. So I want to ask that when you're writing, what keeps you writing like that? You don't give up that okay, I need to do this. That what really motivates you? Yeah, let me put it like that. When you're writing, that keeps you going and like this is what I want to do and this is what I achieve and you get to the end of the goal. Thank you very much.
Sure. Okay. So let's go back. So I took your questions as what motivated me to learn to code and what motivates me to carry on writing. So learning to code, as I kind of mentioned, I changed careers a bunch of times. Before 2020, 2019, I worked in finance, and then the pandemic happened, and that role got that startup. It was a startup, and I think they struggled, and a bunch of people got their roles were made redundant. Mine was one of them, which I was kind of okay with. You know, it was just something that I did. I didn't love it. So I spent a little bit of time at the beginning of 2020 moping around a bit, feeling a bit sorry for myself. And then I thought, no, I need to, what can I do? I need to do something here. I don't really want to go back into finance. What can I do? And then I saw a LinkedIn post saying that they were a taxi driver who had learned to code and it changed their life. And I thought, I could do that. I could learn to code. I'd never done any sort of coding before, apart from some VBA for Excel when I was working in finance. But I thought, I could do that. Why don't I try? So I bought a JavaScript course on Udemy, and I just kind of went from there. What motivated me to keep going was the 100 days of code hashtag. Maybe some of you saw that. The 100 days of code, where I just promised myself, that I would do it every day. And I did. And so I started to learn to code in mid 2020. I was then really ill in hospital. Maybe I overdid it, but I'm fine now. So yeah, I had a little break at the end of 2020 because I was really ill. But yeah, and then I started writing because I was like, well, I can code a bit now. And it's kind of okay. And I can earn a bunch of money doing that, but I don't like it really. Like I don't love it. What I like doing and what I'm good at is writing. So yeah, and then I realized that I could help people. What motivates me to carry on writing when I've started is if I'm writing an article, it's that I can help people to understand something, which is also why I start. What my favorite thing to write about is something that I've never heard of before, and someone will say something, and I'm like, oh, that's a technology that I've never heard of, or that's a concept that I don't understand. So then I'll research it and look into it, because I think, well, if I don't understand it, then other people must also not understand it, and I want to help them. So I write my journey in an article format of how I learned this thing and my process of going through learning it. Yeah, so I guess that is what makes me motivated to carry on writing. Yeah. So I hope that answered your question.
Okay. I guess that's all the questions we will take for today. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming to educate us on how to write technical article. We are so happy to have you here. Yeah, thank you so much, Faye. Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me. It was really, really nice to speak to you.
I know we're all happy to have you here. If you really love this session, you can type it in the chat box, saying something nice and thanking Faye for joining us. Yeah, thank you so much. We don't know if you could drop the link to the slides on the chat box, or if it's not ready yet, you could send me the link and I send it to the Discord server.
Yeah, let me stop sharing my screen so that I can access the chat box. Okay. Where should I send the link to the slides?
Okay.
I don't know how to do that, but I'll try.
Okay. Is it Google Slides?
Yes. Share. Yeah, I do know how to do this. I use this every day. I don't know why I said I don't know how to do it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Somebody's asking. Okay. Discord's link. We sent that to your mail. Maybe it's in your spam box. I know we sent 2 links to the Discord server. Yeah. So if you register for the bootcamp, you should have the link to the Discord server. Okay. Thank you, Faye, for the link. And please, you can copy the link and go through the slides later. Yeah. Thank you. A lot of people are thanking you for. Okay, Amara, you said you search for the. Okay. Amara, just send us a message to our Twitter handle at Penmen Stories, telling us you registered for the bootcamp and you didn't get the Discord link. We would confirm and send you the link to the Discord server. Yeah, that's fine. So,
Amara's not having a good time.
Yeah, I know. I think is this your first? I think this is our first meeting. Yeah, but we've had like 2 meetings and we actually sent the link. Maybe it went right directly to the spam box. Yeah.
No, this is not my first meeting. I was here for the first one and the second one, and I asked you precisely for the Discord links. I'm surprised you don't remember.
Oh, sorry. Apologies for that. Yeah.
Okay.
I searched for the Twitter link. I didn't see it. I searched for Penman. I searched for Penman Stories on Twitter. I did not find it.
Okay. I'll drop the Discord link now. The reason why I don't drop it here is some people are joining us for the first time. I mean, some people didn't register for the bootcamp and they are joining the server, and we only want to pay attention to people who registered for it. So it's
Well,
fine.
I also sent my email address if you prefer that, but I never got anything back.
All right, I will do that now. Yeah. So I'm sending the link now, so you can copy it. So,
Mr. Jethro, please, if I don't know if
go on.
If she can, I don't know if she has gone. I'm not sure.
I'm here, and I'm still here. I do need to go. But do you have some question? Do you need to say something more?
Okay, I was like, if you can share the link to your blog where you share your
Yeah,
article.
that is a super good idea. Thank you. Yeah. I'm also, you can follow me on Twitter as well. My Twitter handle is on the thing. No, that is wrong link. Yeah, I thought I'd forgotten to do something. That is what I'd forgotten to do. Here is where I write. You can see my style of writing. You can even copy it if you like. I mean, not literally copy it, but you can copy the style that I'm writing with the questions, because you'll do it differently. I know you will, because you're unique artists. Okay, cool. I'm gonna jump off now. But yeah, it was really fun. And thank you all for talking to me.
Thank you so much for joining. Bye. All right. Okay. Like I said, we'll be today. You're going to send your from today. You have from today to Sunday to send your topics. You would select choose 3 topics of your choice on a technical. It should be a technical topic. Link to the submission will be dropped in the server tonight, and you'll be paired to mentors tonight. The pairing would come soon. So my co-founder has something to say, and hello. Okay. So like I said, we would pair learners with mentors, and the link to the submission will be dropped. So you are going to choose 3 topics of your choice and submit it. So the time starts now. The link will be dropped. If you have your topic, that's fine. And the deadline is on Sunday. Please, the deadline is on Sunday. And we said there will be no deadline extensions. Yeah, there will be no deadline extension. So take notes, tell others, and so that they would know about this. The deadline is on Sunday. And if you have any question, you can type it in the questions and answer channel, and you can send your feedback to us if you really love the program. Then somebody's asking, will mentors help in picking topics? No, mentors wouldn't help in picking topics. You would pick your topics. So you select 3 topics and show it to your mentor. The link will be dropped. You show it to your mentor, and link to the pairing would be shown also, will be released today on the Discord server. So your mentors wouldn't help you to pick the topics. You will pick the topic, a technical article. Yeah. So deadline is on Sunday. So if you have any question, you can type in the chat box and I answer it before we go. Yeah, but the session has ended. But I would be answering any questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
I sent you a DM, like private message when we started this meeting. I said I pleaded on the Discord channel that perhaps if anyone has the link shared by Edidion yesterday, the chat board, that she kindly send. So I have the link to the speaker decks, that's for the slides, and the one contributing to open source. But I thought I saved it, but I couldn't find my browser.
Okay. I'll ask Edindong to send.
I already sent a message on the channel.
Okay.
There was a link she sent about. Okay. There was a link she sent about companies that are ready to recruit technical writers and some others ones, but I already have the one for the slide and the one for contributing to open source community. But there's still some others I couldn't get that one. So I'll be looking forward to that. Thank you.
All right, I'll ask Edin Dong to send me all the links she sent on the group chat and get across to you guys. Yeah. So somebody is asking deadline for what? Deadline for topic submission. You are choosing 3 topics and you're submitting it on or before Sunday, or will I say Sunday 11:59 p.m. Yeah.
Thank
So
you. I want to get something. We are just choosing topic. Are we writing anything on that topic?
Or maybe you missed the onboarding session. You are writing on the topic. That's why you're submitting the topic. Yeah.
Sorry.
We pick a topic. I can get you. Now you mean?
Hello, can you hear me?
I said we pick 3 topics, right on each of them, right?
Yes, you are selecting 3 topics. Okay, let me go over it again. You are selecting 3 topics and
Okay.
you're submitting the topic. The deadline for topic submission is on or before Sunday 11:59 p.m. That's this Sunday that's coming. Then after that, the roadmap or the program structure is on the Discord server. Just go to topic on the day you see it, but let me just go over it. So after that, one of the topics out of the 3 you have submitted, you will now write an outline, and you're submitting that outline next week, Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Can you hear me?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
I understand now.
Then after that, that topic you've written an outline on, you will be submitting the draft. That's the Sunday after you submit the outline. That's on or before 11:59 p.m. Now, only those who have submitted their draft would now progress to the second phase of the bootcamp. If you don't submit your draft, you wouldn't progress to the second phase of the bootcamp. Yeah. So
Please, I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question too.
Whom are we submitting the topics to? And how do we submit it?
Okay. If you're on the Discord server, we'll send you a link to submit the topics. So don't worry about that. The link will be dropped tonight, and the mentor pairing would be dropped also tonight. So, yeah.
So my question is, I asked the other time that with the mental help with topics we can insert, So I want to be very clear. I think we should really let us explicitly know what the mentors have been helping us with. To let us know what kind of questions to ask mentors. But I want to be very clear, explicitly, like it should be written somewhere. I mean, like on the group, it should be written so we know the kind of questions to ask, so we know what we can consult them on.
Okay, so we discussed that on the onboarding session. What mentors are there for? They are there to unblock you, guide you. So what your mentors will be doing to your outline and your draft, they'll be giving you feedback also. They'll be giving you feedback. Okay, do it this way, rephrase the topic this way. They are not choosing the topic for you. You will choose the topic, you show them, they would give you feedback. Maybe you should do it this way or rephrase it and ask you what came across your mind or why you chose that topic. So that's what the mentors are doing. They're not doing writing for you or choosing the topic for you. They are just there to give you feedback, unblock you if you're having an issue or something like that. They unblock you, they guide you. Yeah, so I hope you get that. Hello?
Yeah, I think that seems.
Do you understand?
Yeah, that seems so.
Yeah. So I think deadline for topic submission, like I said, is this coming Sunday. Where are we submitting to? I said the link will be dropped tonight. Yeah. So outline for 3 topics. No, you're not submitting outline for 3 topics. You're going to pick one topic out of the 3 topics you have submitted and write an outline. You're not writing outline for 3 topics. Yeah. You're picking one topic out of the 3 topics you've selected to write an outline and move forward to write the draft of that same topic you've written an outline on. Yeah. So, like I said, only those who have successfully submitted their draft would now go to the second phase of the bootcamp. If you don't submit the draft, you'll be evicted from the bootcamp. Reason why? Because we want serious-minded people. Yeah, in as much as we are doing this for free, we don't want you guys to take the time and effort of your mentors for granted. These guys are working around the clock and to review your articles. And we have lots of people in this bootcamp. Yeah, lots of people in this bootcamp. So far, so good. Over only 60% of people have joined the Discord server. More people are still joining, and we only want serious people for this bootcamp. Yeah, so that's why. So try as much as possible to write your tech article, submit your draft so that you can move to the next phase of the bootcamp. And we said only those who submit their first draft would go to the second phase, and those who move to the second phase would now be connected to a paid company on how to make their first pay as a technical writer. Yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Hello?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I have a question.
Yeah.
And it's regarding the deadlines. So just to get it clear, Sunday is the deadline for the 3 tentative topics, right?
Yeah.
So when is deadline for the outline?
Outline is next week, Sunday.
And the draft is following week.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So if you're on the Discord server, go to topic of the day. You will see the calendar. We posted the calendar there to get you guys started. Yeah. So can we move to questions? No, yeah, all right. So we're moving. So please, if you have any questions, just go to the Discord server. I just wanted to answer some pressing questions. I know some people would like to talk and they feel questions haven't been answered. So thank you so much. We'll be ending the meeting here. We spent about an hour and a half. Thank you so much for joining. Don't miss tomorrow's meeting. We'll be talking about how to write quality content as a writer. That will be taken by Hanifa of Aggressive for Good. Thank you so much for joining. We'll call it today. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah,
Jethro. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Penmen. Thank you, Jethro. Bye.
Thank you so much.